Hello there. I wanted to share with you some interesting information about Victorian Whitby Jet bracelets. First thing, how do you know if a bracelet is in its original condition or whether it's maybe something that's been put together at a later date out of random beads that weren't necessarily supposed to go together? Well, if you're lucky enough to have a bracelet such as this one, which is very decorative and highly carved, it's very obvious that this bracelet was supposed to be together. If you've got something like this instead, where you've got some nice cameos on the front, but at the back, we've got a right mixture of ovals and squares, then again, it's very obvious that these weren't designed originally to be together. But another way to tell is to actually just stretch some of these beads apart gently. Can you see that the distance between the holes in the square bead are a lot greater than the ones in the oval bead? Drill holes should marry up perfectly, and there should be no stretching of the elastic where it's reaching up to fit holes that don't marry up with the one next to it. So that's a very good indication that the beads you have on your bracelet aren't supposed to go together. Another thing to look out for, if you've got a bracelet like this, where you've got this lovely flowing line all the way around, sometimes the flow isn't quite right. There's some steps between the beads. It doesn't quite sit perfectly. It doesn't always mean that the beads weren't made together originally, but it can indicate that it's been strung together wrongly. Now, if you look on the inside of these beads, you'll see that on one side there's 2 dots, and on the other side there's 2 dots as well. That means that these pieces fit together perfectly. They're supposed to go together. On the next one, there's 3 dots and 3 dots, so they go together. 4 dots and 4 dots, so on and so forth. So what the jet worker is doing is actually giving the stringer an indication of what goes together where. And it'll also help tell you how many pieces there should be and whether they all fit. So it might not necessarily be just dots that the jet worker does. It could be symbols, it could be Roman numerals, but there is usually some sort of mark on there that is telling you how the pieces should lay out. One other thing that I see a lot in the stringing of bracelets is this here, where there's a gap between some of your beads. That shouldn't be there. Beads should go together, they should fit nice and tightly and look very smooth. There should be no gap like that. That's not how it would have been originally, and they wouldn't have had these big ugly knots there as well. First of all, there shouldn't even be 2 knots, there should be just 1. The string would go in through the top, bend around and then go through the bottom holes, and then it would be tied at the end, 1 knot, as I say. Now inside there should be a bead somewhere with a hole in it, just like that. That is where the knot goes. So have a look at your beads on the inside as well as the outside. If you see these holes, that's what it's for. It's a little cavity for the knot to go in so it doesn't look big and ugly like that, and it's not impairing the look of your bracelet. Finally, I would just like to say that Victorian ladies never just wore 1 bracelet as we do now. They always wore a matching pair. Now obviously these are very rare, it's quite unusual to find matching pairs of bracelets now. Usually one's been broken, one's got lost, one's been left to one daughter, one's gone to the other, so they inevitably become separated over the years. If you have a pair of matching bracelets, please keep them together. I was in a jeweller's, well, it was an antique shop just last week, and I saw this lovely pair of cameo jet bracelets, but they were for sale separately. I think it's a crime, to be honest, to separate them after they've survived so long together. So if you're lucky enough to have a pair of matching jet bracelets, please, please, please keep them together.